Oh, look, he already be hitting the button without me knowing. Oh, man, he be setting me up. Now I see what you're doing.
All right, D's here. I'm coming back.
All right. Yo, D, stick around for a little bit without multitasking and being all over the world. How was your birthday, brother? See, he can't even speak. Here we go. Thank you, La. What I do this weekend, Nas? What, Lala? What I do this weekend?
She don't know. Her face was swollen.
Oh my
What?
God. No, I know exactly what I did this weekend. I was watching DWI travel the world. I was watching you celebrate your birthday, amongst other things that we can't say on air. Hello. But no, that was good. That was good. Trey, what's happening with it? All right, so we got a show to do. We got some things to talk about. Let me introduce this pod appropriately.
And now for our feature presentation.
No, your wholeness can get deleted. Your wholeness can get deleted.
Delete all that shit! Delete all that shit!
Mike. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast. You now listening to Live on Broadway Podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway Podcast, where the situations matter more than the relationships. Perspectives will be respected by everybody. If this is your first time tapping in, don't be easily threatened or angered, because much like you, you out there too. Everybody here started off as a perfect stranger. That's what I love about this podcast. We asked everybody tap in and get acclimated to what we doing on YouTube, Live on Broadway Podcast, Instagram, Live on Broadway Podcast, Clubhouse, Live on Broadway Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Of course. Shout out to our YouTube viewership. Tarek, I see you. Shout out to, there's no more Google Podcasts. Did y'all know that? They got Google Podcasts, the F out of here. Make sure you tap in with us on Spotify, LOBP Gang. Y'all know what's happening with it. The same on Apple Podcasts, Google, well, no more Google Podcasts, and everywhere else podcasts are available. Greetings and salutations to you all. Round of applause for y'all beautiful people tapping in with us this evening. Per usual, shout out to the room. I got Big Nas in the room one time. Shout out to my guy Nas behind the board. Shout out to the queen, the ever so beautiful La. Wait till I get my money right. Whoa. All right, chill, Broadway.
Not too much.
Not too much. Shout out to my guy DWI. You heard?
Hey.
What's happening with you, comrade? And of course, above all else, shout out to the beautiful Allison Gray shining down on us. This one's dedicated to you, baby girl. Round of applause for you all. Oh man, so Lala, let's start with you, Queen. How was your weekend?
My weekend was interesting. So the birthday boy was spoiled. I did multiple rooms for him. Don't say no names. But I was down bad. I have an ear infection. I was not feeling well. So I'm recovering from that. Yeah.
People still get the ear infection?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I think some pollen got into my ear and I was just in excruciating pain.
In your ear, like your ear. You had pain in your ear?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm good. I'm okay. Ready to work.
Good to hear.
So why was she putting Q-tips with pollen in her ears?
Ain't nobody playing Q-tips or pop. See, here we go. Here we go.
But even more so, I think she's just keeping up with the lies she told you, D, because she didn't want to hear your bullshit.
Right. I know.
Wake that up.
But no, I did my best to celebrate my big brother's birthday from afar. He was
Sure
on the
did.
road, so I tried.
D, recently a poll was placed up on the Shade Room or one of them blog sites, and they were talking about who won the Quavo and Chris Brown beef in regards to their records. D, who did you have any dog in the race? Did you hear both sides to it? Did you hear Quavo? You heard Chris Brown? Hello, D, you there?
Yeah, now Chris Brown sounded more like some affirmative action. Like he was really about what he was about. Quavo just sounded like, and the fact that he wasn't a rapper.
Right. That's what made it stand out even more. What I will say is I really enjoyed Quavo tagging Offset in, and them trying to do a hit, right? So I do like that aspect to it. Lala, how about yourself?
Yeah, it didn't even matter at that point. Chris Brown, like I told everybody on Clubhouse.
Hello?
I said it. I said Chris Brown was going to body whoever tried to come against
Hello.
him. I said it. And then 3 days later, he comes out with this diss track, and I literally had my mouth open the whole time. I was like, he exceeded all expectations. Like, he said that his album was a weed tray that they rolled weed on. I was done. Like,
they don't even have CDs no more.
He hit him below the belt on so many levels. Just mad disrespectful. That's the first time, like, in a long time we heard a real diss track. Like, that was a true diss track. And he's not even a real rapper.
It was abrasive. It was in your face. It was no holding punches, right? Mm-hmm. I like that. Forget the sub stuff. Like, let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. Like, let's get it out. So that kind of held us over while we wait for Kendrick to respond. Hello?
Not while we wait for Kendrick. That ship is sailed.
One of the things that Quavo started talking Chris started talking crazy about, well, I think Quavo said something first, but it was about Quavo and Sweetie getting into their little melee in the elevator, and Quavo had smoke with Chris about the Rihanna. Are we still at this point with Chris and Rihanna? Like, is Chris forgiven? Like, unanimously, is Chris forgiven?
Yes.
Yeah, he don't have a history of doing it. He has a situation that happened. We all had situations that happen in life.
Yeah. Ladies, you know what? I'm gonna play the safe card. I'm gonna wait for the ladies to speak. Then I'm gonna give my hello, ladies. Lundria, hello.
He's forgiven. Like Dee said, he had one situation, and honestly, both of them explaining it sounds like he was provoked. So it doesn't excuse the situation, but he's forgiven. They were both acting up. So yeah.
Exactly. I'm rolling. Before I can confirm or deny, I'm gonna go to Lala first and make sure it's safe. Is Chris Brown forgiven?
I mean, it happened so long ago. Domestic violence is never a good thing. But it was just an isolated incident. From what I understand, he was defending himself in that incident. Some allegations were also tied into Diddy about that and Rihanna. So, a lot has come out about that incident now. And I just think people just need to, just let it go. Like, just appreciate the man and his music and what he's bringing to the culture and how versatile he is, and just appreciate him for that. It's not like he's had multiple incidences of this behavior.
Didn't he have a situation with Karrueche?
Allegedly. She said that there was a DV situation between the two of them, but I mean, I really don't know how true that is. I can't confirm or deny that. But I don't want to say like, oh no, and then something really happened and just kind of like, victim shaming type of issues. So,
Yeah.
But we've heard multiple incidences about Quavo, and Chris Brown woke that up in his diss track. So I don't know. It's unfortunate on both sides, really.
Yeah, no, it's certainly unfortunate. I really liked and enjoyed the battles. Excuse me, the verses, the songs, the clapbacks, the pussy. Like I love the Migos getting into that bag. I like they did it with Joe too when they put your hand in the air if you hated Joe Button, something like that, right? I really enjoyed that, but I also think that sometimes when you're in a relationship, Chris said to Quavo something along the lines of, I had your girl while you were still sleeping with her. That got a little spicy. That was kind of hard. That was kind of hard. But it did bring me to the question of simply, can a relationship recover from your significant other stepping out with someone that you know they had beef with? D, I want to go to you first. Can a relationship recover? And you guys that's on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Make sure you leave your commentary. We're going to pull it up. Now it's going to pull up your commentary all of right here. You get what I'm saying? So make sure you guys tap in. Simple question, can a relationship recover from your significant other stepping out with someone you know they had beef with? D?
That I know that they had beef with or that I had beef with?
That you had beef with. If you are in a relationship with a young lady, God forbid, and she steps out with your op, can your relationship salvage itself?
Nah, she got to stay on the other side. And I got real feelings towards this, but it wasn't somebody I had beef with. So if I know that you still got to stay on the other side of somebody I was cool with, then you definitely got to stay on the other side. Because if I'm not gonna be cool with them, and now you did the deed, then now you gotta stay over there. I'm cool with that.
Not what I heard.
Listen, we'll unpack that one later, D. How about you, La? And hit the button if you're on Instagram. I'm gonna bring y'all up. Go ahead, La.
I don't think so. That's a point of no return for me. Like, there's no coming back for that. I'm sorry. And knowingly, you know that I have beef with this person. Yeah, I got to touch you. I got to put my hands on you. Like that's
Yo,
there's no coming back.
People mess up though, La. So you can't grant them a look. Nah.
No. Because let's just be honest, right? Let's keep it a buck. Like that's some real vengeful stuff. Like you had to be really methodical and strategic first of all, we're in a relationship, so you can't compete with pillow talk. So you already know that I don't like this person, and then you go behind my back and you, for whatever your reasons were, you stuck with this person. Like, no, absolutely not. We're done. Use Reynolds Wrap, cook food, get out of here. Absolutely not. No.
So, all right, I'm going to attempt to answer this question, and I don't want you, all right. So, I thought about this. It depends. It depends.
You got it.
No, wait, I'm telling the truth. So, it depends if he got the old body and she has surgery and I got the new body. It depends. I'm just saying. Hey, listen. If he had the old body and now she got the new body, the only way we can salvage this is if she got the new body and now, hello? You get what I'm saying? Because
okay. So what if your shorty bangs your up with the old body? Y'all break up and she come back to you with the new body.
Oh, it's lit. We up. We can make war, make babies. Back when I was nothing, you made a brother feel like he was something. Now I'm with you. Who no fronting. Even when the clouds was great, you would rub me on my back and say, baby, I'm gonna bring up all that. All that. She got the new body. You know, the 550 is different from the 580 when you get inside of it. You get what I'm saying? It's way different. What up, Ange? Pull up. What up, Luna? Hit the button. I'm just saying, if he cheated, if that happened and she had the old body, it's a dub. We could get back. She got the new body because now I'm not even holding her past sins against her. She washed it away. Jesus washed away her sins. He brought her back to life after she went under. I'm just saying. Hello? New body means new wholeness can be deleted? Yes. Hello? Yes, exactly.
Oh, no.
No, your wholeness can get deleted.
Your wholeness can get deleted.
Delete all that shit.
Delete all of it.
Delete all that shit.
Yes, exactly.
Lipstick on a pig is still a pig. I don't care how you dress
What?
it
I
up,
missed
it's
you.
still a
I
pig.
couldn't hear you. I was talking over you. Say it again.
Lipstick on a pig is still a pig. Okay,
Hey.
it's still a hoe.
Hey, listen, man. You know, when you pray over some meat, it becomes halal. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that's like if it's vice versa, and I have the old penis and now I get the new penis, you can't even hold my travesties against me because this ain't even the same body part that did that deed. You gotta let me go. I'm just saying, you gotta let me go. Right, Luna? Hello?
I mean, you got it. Like, cause at the at the end of the day, if somebody else is judging my vulnerability, then you the judge. Like, I don't got no dog in the fight. If I can't tell you where I am and you gonna tell me, then you got it. All gas, no brakes. Whatever it is that you say I am.
Wake that up. This beautiful goddess of a lady up here understanding the bottom line. Can a relationship recover after your significant other sleeps with someone that you had beef with? For me, I'm gonna say yes. Hello? God, don't hold me to that. So listen, we're gonna have a discussion because I seen some things and some things, right? I seen some things and I seen some things. And one of the things I want to do is I want to play a video for you guys. And YouTube, you know how to do it. I might need you to go over there and put up the link. Okay. So this video that I'm about to play for you guys is a very, very interesting one, right? And the reason why it's interesting because I'm gonna let the full video play. I'm not gonna let part of the video play because in the beginning you think you know where she's going, but then as the video continues, you see she ends up in another whole place. This is the importance of letting people and letting things play out without interruption, right? So while I do that, I'm gonna play this clip, Clubhouse. I want you guys to join by listening the way it's meant to be listened to on YouTube, right? And when you guys listen to it, thank you, La. When you guys listen to it, in my opinion, no, it can't, and I have a reason. Again, that's just me. Okay? All right, so here goes this video. I'm going to play, and y'all going to listen. Live on Broadway podcast. You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast.
Why do you not talk to your girlfriends about your marriage?
Would a queen talk to a chambermaid about the king? How would the chambermaid understand what it is that the queen is going through or has to understand? Why am I going to go get advice from somebody who has a failed marriage, who doesn't understand what it's like to be with a man like that? Number two, if I go and tell my friend how horrible Grant was about something, which there's two sides of the story, and then I'm going to go make up with Grant, But now I've told them that Grant is domineering. Grant is controlling. He only thinks about himself. They're stuck with that. So now I've made up with my husband. I go hang out with my best friend, Susie Q. She's like, so how's Grant? Oh, is he doing the domineering thing again? Boom, I'm lit back up. Didn't even have a fight with him, but I'm lit back up. Either I'm trying to now talk to her and convince her that my husband isn't the piece of garbage that I made him out to be earlier. I'm trying to convince her of that, or I'm reignited about the upset and how he does not treat me with respect, and he does treat me like a son, and I'm always doing this for him, and he doesn't do that. And then boom, now I'm home with my husband, and guess what? He does one little thing where he's like, I'm going here to do this, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, so it's my job to take care of the kids? Oh, you just get to do whatever you want because you just think about only yourself. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I've just now picked a fight that wasn't even there because I'm all re-stimulated from this conversation that I had with this girl.
Why do you not talk to your girlfriends about your marriage?
Would
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Not again. All right. D, to that clip, what you heard, give me your thoughts before I ask questions. DWI. Luna, what are your thoughts on that clip?
Just go to therapy, or go to what they call them, confession in the Catholic Church. That way, it's between y'all two. You can get your feelings out. You can vent. You can go through all of that whole rigmarole without having to feel like somebody else is judging you for you being able to vent and process. Go to therapy. Go to confessions. Talk to God.
Wow. Wow.
I know that's right, girl.
So just to be clear, she said, I no longer, once upon a time, not too long ago, she stopped speaking whatever was going on wrong in her marriage to her people, because obviously when her and her significant other works it out, cool, that was the first part. But the second part that I found very interesting was, so once she tells her people these things, and ladies, you guys far and near, let me know if this is something you guys can relate to. Now she can be out with her BFF, and her BFF says something to trigger old feelings and old thoughts and old emotions. Then she goes home or goes out on a date with her significant other, and he does something, right? Now she's triggered because she just left her friend or her people, and now they're saying something. So now he's doing something that triggers old emotions. Is this something, La, I'm gonna come to you first. Is this something that's relatable? Is this something that you can understand, or what are your thoughts before I ask a question?
It's tricky because, when you're in a relationship, marriage, domestic partnership, or even just a long-term relationship, you want to be able to have a safe space to confide in friends and family about what's going on, and you really don't want to feel judged or even your partner be judged by those people. But there comes a sense of biasness in doing that, because they're always going to take your side, like, for the most part. So it's a slippery slope when you open that can of worms. And I don't really think a lot of times it's the best idea to do so. So in some cases, yeah, it is relatable. And it's also very teachable moments, because it's like, it's kind of discerning, okay, well then who can I confide in about certain situations that they're going to give me an unbiased view about my relationship. If I do need to talk to somebody, and if you don't have that type of support system, then maybe, to Luna's point, maybe, going to a therapist or going to clergy might be the best, because they'll give you that perspective that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And, I just wanted to add on Lala's and then the Lala's perspective that she just shared, as well as the second part to that statement you made, Broadway, that posed a question. It's almost like you're not defending the insecurities or the triggers that you feel from the fact that you let go and forgave. You're now defending your own character against somebody else's judgment of you.
Wake
So,
that up.
so you know what I'm saying? So that's now you're embarrassed. Now you feel regretful because or guilty because you shared this information, and it's delusional to not think that anybody is going to judge you. So if you're walking into a situation thinking that somebody isn't going to judge you, you're delusional in that sense alone. Even your mama gonna judge you. Your people gonna judge you. Your best friend, whoever it is, that they're going to judge you. We're human. That's what we do. Now they can't condemn you. They ain't got a heaven or hell to put you in. But you can condemn yourself. You can become anxious. You can become nervous. You can become, all of these things because now you're in a place of remorse because this person has reminded you of something that you have moved on from and you feel some type of way about it. And I'll land there.
No, that was fire. That was fire. That was fire. So the question now becomes who should marry people confide in when things go awry? D, are you by your mic? Who should marry people confide in when things go awry? I think it's a very important question because we've all been in or just long, lengthy relationships, right? D, go ahead, stand in front of that.
I think you should get the best information from people with the most amount of experience, or not even the most amount of experience, because experiences are uh, subjective to whatever it may be. But I think if someone is able to be unbiased and you can tell somebody, like if I tell you, bro, wait, this happened, this is what I did, and then this is what she did, and what you think about this scenario, and I give it to you like how it is, and I don't add nothing or take nothing away. I think I'm good. Me knowing you to give me a good judgment is fine. You don't have to be married for that. I just gotta trust your judgment is going to be unbiased and it's going to be something that I can relate to. Um, yeah, because I think certain people I just can't get no information from them because their mindset is totally off, so they always going to go off regardless. So no matter how smart they are, they may just go off because they'll start talking about something on how it relates to them when I just need a neutral perspective of what the situation is.
Spoken like a wise man. I remember we had a pod a few seasons ago, and and I had came up here and I had said, "Hey, I don't believe in telling people anything about my significant other who don't love my significant other." Hello? Because if you don't love my significant other, you're instantly going to take my side because you have no other point of reference, right? You have no other understanding as to she probably did this, but giving grace, she probably didn't mean that. And the worst type of advice, and again, I don't mean anything by this, ladies, and it's not all ladies, but I think some ladies just champion women just because they're women. And I don't think that that's fair in some cases because, ladies, y'all know some of you guys or some of you friends or some of your friends or other women that's been on BS time. You know what I mean? They've done crazy things. So I just wonder, excuse me. So when I came up on the pod and I said that, it made a lot of sense. But I do think that, La, I want you to speak to the point of reference of, have you ever dealt, or excuse me, Luna, La. Luna, I want you to speak to, have you ever shared some candid information with someone and then but you have since grown past that, and then you've had your people bring up something, and now when you get back next to your significant other, it brings up old stuff, and you're reacting in a way that's hasty, but you're giving them old residual feelings. If it wasn't for your people bringing up something old, you wouldn't even be moving or thinking or reacting the way that you have. Luna?
Yeah, I mean that's happened before, but I think there's maturity in that
Talk about it.
you have to take the accountability.
Come
You
on
know,
now.
instead of deflecting and being like, "Man, why you bringing up bullshit?" Because that's what we do. Like, no, stop that. Why you bringing up bullshit? Like, you're dismissing what you validated with that person then and there. So sometimes you got to be like, "Yeah, I said that. You right." You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in that place and in this space when I said that. But now I'm in a different space. So, you know what I'm saying? Respect where I am now. You got to redraw boundaries because yes, sometimes we cross our own boundaries. Sometimes those things that we put in place, we don't always, make sure that we stand firm on. And so when we cross our own boundaries, we got to make sure that we come back, be accountable, let the people know, hey, yeah, this is what it was, when it was, but I'm not in that space no more. And you give them an opportunity to accept you where you are now. But if they still going to hold you where you were, then that's on them.
Yeah.
And the best apology is a change behavior. So if you still doing the same stuff over again, I can't help you there.
Yeah. Yeah. Trey said her saying Queen's chambermaid is just don't tell your friends or your business. I'm rolling with it. Lala, anything to that?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Luna was saying, I've made that mistake of confiding certain information about a relationship, and it was to the detriment of it. But I think that, I learned a lot of lessons in doing that and going forward and very, very private now about, who I'm dating or, even just my singleness. I just rather just keep it to myself because not everybody wants to see you succeed. And I've learned that over the years. And it's almost like people take in revelry of the downfall or the ebbs and the flows of your problems. And sometimes they don't always give you the best advice or the best solution to those problems.
Sometimes live really quickly, I think sometimes our people, and of course they'll never admit it, but sometimes our people may be haters because you have the wherewithal to go through those peaks in those valleys, right? Mm-hmm. And when it ends in a place of where you want it to end up, right? You want your relationship to get past and grow past things. They only know giving up. They only know mining for the diamond, right? And never receiving it. They only know failure. They only know a certain aspect of it. But in most cases, when you're doing something, if it's a job, if it's a significant other, if it's your first time encountering this person that has had a whole life before you've been inserted into their program, you're going to mess up here and there. Now, the mess up can't be anything too grave. But even when it is, you should offer grace, no?
Not everybody exercises that. Like, not everybody knows the art of forgiveness. And I've learned that too. Like, they want to, sometimes when you confide in people and they're so used to demonizing a person, or you've been the one to demonize that person because out of anger or resentment or whatever was going on in that situation, they just keep that picture painted that way. And they just want to keep you stuck seeing that person that way. Oh, remember what they did? It's like, but yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like I moved past that. Like I'm not in that space anymore. And that's when the lack of respect comes. It's like they don't want to respect the fact that you're willing to forgive certain things and move on. And some people don't know how to not only forgive their own situation, so they want you to be stuck in residual in that mess.
You know who had a situation like that? Summer Walker. Summer Walker had a situation with London where there kept being ups and downs. I don't know if she was confiding or speaking with someone else, but it kept being up and downs, right? And being someone like Summer Walker, when she gets on stage, being a new artist, she had experienced those that being a recluse, being someone who likes to stay to herself, but has this amazing God-given talent and vocal setting that is easily, she's a killer. You know, she sounds amazing when she sings. But what Summer did was she ended up getting with, say, Meech, Lil Meech, right? She gets with Lil Meech. It looks amazing from the outside, but then obviously, my guy worked for Instacart or Uber Eats or one of those things, and he liked bringing bags up to people's rooms, and then things went slowly left. But the interesting thing with her is, staying on Summer Walker, she got a new guy. And the new guy that she's with, her new thing, has a few or have gotten a few tattoos. Lala, talk to me about it.
Yeah, so this new guy that she's dealing with, apparently he's like this OnlyFans creator or something. And there's been a lot of women that have come out, even Lil Meech has come out against her dating this person. He's exposed her twins at a doctor's visit online. She didn't know.
Wait, he exposed her twins?
Yeah.
Wow.
Saying that he was at the doctor visit with her twins or whatever, which are London on the Chat kids. So I don't know how he feels about that. And basically, it came out today that he got Summer's name tatted like on his jawline or something.
Oh, don't worry. We got photos. Keep talking. Hello? keep talking. We got some photos here.
And so it's like to prove that his love for her is real or something along the lines of that. But a lot of women have said that like they've made videos or like they sent him nudes or something, and he's like put them out online and like made money off of these women, like exposing them. So Little Meech has like concerns about her safety and the safety of her kids.
That's hate. That's hate. That's hate. Don't have concerns now when you was delivering the groceries and you was trying to eat the booty like hello. Don't have concerns now, Meech. But go ahead, Allah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was about it. So he's like highly upset that she's dating this dude, and she's known this guy for years. He's spun the block. She's known him like 7 years ago, and
good old spin the block.
Yeah. So he's watched her go through her relationship with London on the Chat and Lil Meech, and so he waited for them to kind of dissolve those relationships to dissolve, and he shot his shot, and she took him back. So
I mean, look. When you're a celebrity and you living in public, of course, everything gets scrutinized. I just can't, for the sake of myself, understand how you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I have a saying that I say quite often that's of, no matter where you go, there you are. So these mistakes, until she takes the time out, it feels to me like she's gonna keep having these same experiences and transactions with these men. What up, O?
You know what, Broadway? But it's also us negating that she just very well may like this. Like we're trying to put her on a pedestal, seemingly, from the conversation, like she's above this. When in actuality, she may not be above this. This may be exactly what frequency she vibrates in, and she's cool there. I think we got to be careful there.
Stay right there, stay right there, stay right there. Don't move, Luna. Stay right there. Where we may be putting her on a pedestal that she might not want to be placed on because she might like this. Wow. Talk about it.
Yeah, I think so. One thing that I heard, excuse me, one thing that I heard in that the clip that you played was that why would a queen tell a peasant her business? Or let's just say a servant is a peasant. If I'm a queen and I have a servant and I categorize them as a servant, as a peasant, however, they're around me 24/7. They know me, they see me, they observe my actions. If I'm only showing them the bad parts of me, if I'm consistently showing them certain parts of myself, and then I pop out one day and I say, I'm a changed person, of course, they're not going to believe me. Why would they? I've consistently showed you that I am this person. So your opinion of me is very valid. You can't negate that because honestly, what we do to people in general is the closest people to us, we try to negate when we move up, or when we move on, failing to see that these people have been right there with us the whole entire time. Now we try to invalidate how they see us.
She going crazy. She going crazy. So what you talking about is accountability. What you're highlighting is, unless she's ready to hold herself accountable,
it's a 50. It's not really her accountability. It's more so the people's view of how they're placing this person. Like, why, as individuals, we have to ask ourselves, why is the collective putting her in this space? What is she showing? What characteristics, what actions, what compass are we using to say this is the standard we the people are setting for Summer Walker? What is that?
I really wish some of all of the people in the world can give some of my people advice. I really wish when certain things, when we hit the brick wall, or when people hit the brick wall, Instagram as a whole, Twitter as a whole, can jump in the comments and know all of the business and hold them to that standard, right? Because sometimes what ends up happening is our friends start thinking that we doing something wrong and that we tripping because we saying whatever it is we saying. And the fact of the matter is, if this was a situation, I'm talking about our personal friends and family, if the rest of the world had a chance to give commentary on these travesties, these hiccups, these moments, they will understand it better. Because what's happening with Summer Walker, I feel like is exactly what happens with some of our friends, or has happened with some of our friends. And we can point the finger and say, nigga, now you know you tripping. You should not be doing this. And they'll look at you like, either you hating, like who are you to be the potholder calling the kettle black? But that shouldn't be overlooked when the thing happened. Let's say hypothetically one of my boys go outside and he doing something, he doing with another woman he ain't supposed to be doing. And I say, yo, bro, you bugging, you tripping. And then he say, yo, bro, you bugging. I remember in 98 or 2000 or whatever the year was when I did the thing. But stop, let's stop reversing this and deflecting and just deal with the thing that you are experiencing because you came to me. So if you came to me, that means that either you want me to listen or do you want me to respond? And if I respond and it's something that you don't want to hear, why does it have to be I'm tripping? I really wish some of our friends and family social media could speak to them because things be isolated and they think that because nobody else sees it, that it's okay for them to do it because that's their opinion. I'm probably losing you guys, but I hope I'm not. You know, so yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Makes sense to you. I have something that I do want to talk about. I have a video that I would like to play, and you guys can probably see it in different mediums. Topic of discussion: you lack vulnerability because you chase your desires. Let me play a video and let's come right back to that idea and thought. Lala, I love you. You're a genius for this. Hold on. Live on Broadway podcast. Talk about it.
It's so much harder to love a real one than it is to be in relationship with a fraud.
Say that again for the people in the back.
It is so much harder to be in relationship with a real one than it is to be with a fraud. It's just hard because someone who holds you accountable to who you say you want to be, someone who recognizes your potential, but meet you where you are, someone who wants your vulnerability. Like, I want to know how you think. I want to know why you made the choices you made. It requires a level of intimacy that you never have to do when you're just trying to see if someone's cheating and checking phone messages. And like, you don't have to be vulnerable in those relationships. You got to be tough. You got to be strong. You got to be hard. But now here comes someone that says, I want to be your soft place. And you got to figure out, how do I tear these walls down? And you have to figure out, how do I give this language? And how do I let them know up underneath this strength that there is still a broken 13-year-old girl, a broken 15-year-old girl. And I got to let you see her and to let you see how she sometimes gets upset and flares up. And it's petrifying to let someone that closely into your space. It is so much harder to.
Luna, to that you say what?
Very hard to be vulnerable with someone when you have no intentions of acting right. Like, if you don't have no intentions of being the person that you say you are, then yes, it's definitely hard for you to show up and be vulnerable to someone who is able to give you vulnerability, give you a safe place. Because as a single woman right now, I get friend zoned often because I am the cool girl. I am the dope girl. I am the one that they can be vulnerable with and share all of their intimacies with, share all of their secrets with. However, they won't be that to the person that they're either in relationship with or they're dating, because they want to go, they don't want to change themselves. They rather keep me in a safe place rather than make me the wife that they want, make me the girlfriend that they want, because they're not done with their bullshit. And as much as I hate that, I can respect that, because I don't want you broken. I want you to be able to be that vulnerable and come to me with that intimacy so that we can really build something real.
Maybe you're being too cool. How would you respond to that?
I'm being myself. Ain't no how cool is cool. Ice cold. Ain't no such thing. Can't nobody ever tell me I'm being too cool. I'm being me. If that's too much for you, then that's just too much for you. But I'm not gonna adjust me because you can't handle it.
Yeah. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just giving you some pushback to further the conversation. So what you are for your, let's say, Tommy, right? Are you offering the same thing to, say, James? That's an old name, too. Are you offering the same? Because my thing becomes, there has to be something special that you're offering and giving to me that you're not particularly giving to the rest of the room because you're cool. How do you respond to that, Luna?
See, that's the thing. When someone knows that what the connection that I give you, if you know that that connection is for me and only you, only us two can feel that. Only us two know that. As a social person, as somebody who likes hugs, who likes to be close with other humans, I have to find my person. I'm not looking for a man, I'm looking for my man. So that may look very differently for other people. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I am totally okay because I don't want to change who I am in order to fit into it. I want somebody to accept me for me. And if you can, you can. But if you can't, I'm not adjusting. It's cool.
So, La, do you want to tap in on that, or do you want me to pose the question?
Go ahead with the question.
All right, so I'm gonna open this up, and La, I'm gonna give you first stab at it. What up, Sierra? Join the stage. We would love to have you come up here and share your point of views on this topic. What was the lack of vulnerability in you? Let me start from the top. What was the lack of vulnerability in you that you failed to achieve the relationship you desired? Hold on one second. What was the lack of vulnerability in you that you failed to achieve the relationship you desired? I posed that question to the room. Tap in with us. Live on Broadway podcast. Y'all know what we doing around these parts. You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast.
Click.
Tap in with us.
I can answer this question now in the present. I'm not in a space to where I can just extend my energy to allow myself to be completely vulnerable to just anybody. I've learned that my time and my body and what I present to a relationship is very valuable, and time is not something that you can get back. I don't think that now in my big grown age, I am excited about wasting time. So because of that, I've built walls to protect myself, because for me, I'd rather wait for what I truly, truly want than to waste any of my energy and time in things that I know that aren't for me. I don't have the wherewithal to do it. So I purposely keep things surface level until I feel as though it's the right time for me to be vulnerable, or the right person.
This is a safe space. This is not anything that's for the judgment, critiquing. I'm just very interested to hear how you guys are responding to the accountability portion of this, right? What up, collectors? I see you, beloved. What was the lack of vulnerability in you that you felt to achieve the relationship you desired? What was the lack of vulnerability in you that you felt to achieve the relationship that you desired? I've been looking at this question for about 3 days now. And every time I see it, something new jumps out. There's an accountability portion of it, right? What up, Shantae? Bring the queen up. There's an accountability portion to it. There's a vulnerability portion to it. There's a your desired portion to it. I'm going to pause there. I want to hear from the Luna. I want to hear from D. Let's start with you, D. You've been quiet. I want to hear from you, Shantae. So let me make this question more personal. DWI, what was the lack of vulnerability in you that you felt to achieve the relationship you desired, D? He must be away from his mic. Let me bring the collectors up here. Shout out to the bro. Here's my thing. Shantae, you got something to add?
Yeah. I'm telling people love instead of being honest. Sometimes I feel like instead of me telling the person that you mean out.
Hold on, Queen. It's hard to hear you. Can you speak directly into the mic?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, go for it. That's a little better.
Okay. So I say my thing that I do is I sometimes bring
Yeah,
people
Tay,
along
we
instead
can't
of
hear
being
you,
more
Tay.
honest.
Tay, I hear more background than I hear you.
I
Apologies. We'll bring you back up when you get to a place that's more silent and you can just open your mic and go for it. You know, who we got up here with us? Who we got up here with us? Trinity. How you doing, Trinity?
Hey, how are you?
How you feeling today?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Doing very well, blessed and highly favored. The question that I want to pose, and I want to make it very personal to you, Trinity, what was the lack of vulnerability in you that allowed you to, Trinity, what was the lack of vulnerability in you that you felt to achieve the relationship that you desired?
So, I got the relationship that I desire.
Currently.
So I don't really understand the question, how it pertains to me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll break it down and make it plain. So let's answer this in past tense. What were some of the things that you lacked the vulnerability of that allowed you to fail achieving the relationship that you desire? Like, how did you get to where
Okay, I can do that.
Okay.
I can answer that. Yeah. Okay. Well, before I got therapy,
Hello?
I had lacked trust, but I thought it was my lack of trust in men when it was really my lack of trust in myself to be able to be a better judge of character. So when I realized that my lack of trust was not in the men, but in myself, then I was able to work on myself in a way that I could be able to weed out those who were, who I was unfit for.
Come on now.
And the reason why I said that I was unfit for them was simply because I couldn't be their helpmeet, because I was looking for relationships to gain as opposed to being of service.
Once upon a time, not too long ago, she was looking to gain and receive opposed offering and giving. Did I understand that right?
Absolutely, 100, yeah. So, in other words, I was in it for my survival and not in it for his survival. So I was in it for looking for him to love me like my dad, when I should be in it for him to love him like his mom. And that means I got to care about his well-being. I got to care about his emotions. I got to care about his psyche, because at the end of the day, he has to be fit for work. He has to be fit for the world so that he can come back home to me.
So at what point, because we began this conversation, you began speaking with, that was old shit. I'm no longer that person. So how did you make the transition from what you used to do to what you're currently doing?
Got tired of the same results.
Nobody say nothing. She cooking. You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast. She got tired of the same old results, so she did something different. Now, they call me a hard ass sometimes. I'm going to ask the tough questions. How many frogs did you have to kiss in the transition process to arrive in at this point to where you are now? Was it an instant thing? Oh,
no,
wow.
4.
You answered that pretty quickly.
Yeah, because I only had 4, but I only have 4 relationships outside of this one. So 2 marriages and, 2 regular relationships.
So look, I'm sorry. I know I'm going rogue a little bit. Excuse me, LOBP Giants, but we had an earlier topic. Since I know you've been married twice, are you currently married to the person that you're with?
Yeah.
So is he the third marriage or is he part of the 2?
The second. There is no third.
Okay, cool. So you said you was married twice. I didn't know if that was pre or post. So, who should married people confide in when things go awry in a relationship?
I don't know about people, but I confide in my husband because, well, he's the only one that will know all the details. So I don't go outside and ask anyone for any advice or anything because I'm dealing with him. So I think that he would be best to direct me and to teach me or to tell me, how I could better interact and engage with him, and vice versa. So I don't have girlfriends that I confide in. I don't have family members that I confide in because my marriage is nobody's business. It's just us 2.
Wake that up.
I'm rolling. It's very interesting, your point of view and stance on this. Hang out, stay there. I want to see how the room responds to you, and then I want to hear their point of views. Luna, how do you respond to, is there any validity inside of what Trinity just said?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with everything that she said that was for her. Like I think her having that self-discovery and having that self-awareness in order to correct what she felt, what she knew was for her, was great. I think that I have no pushback for that. Like I think that was a beautiful thing, and I could also align with some of what she was saying as far as my lack of vulnerability in regards to trusting myself. Because when you can trust yourself and you don't waver on your discernment. You don't waver when it comes to your intuition. You know those things for yourself because you trust you. And so I definitely could align there. My only add to that for myself would also be I lack the ability to be able to not be defensive and to hear, to actually hear and accept what my person is saying rather than trying to make it out to be something that I needed to understand for my own sanity. So when I got to that space and let a thing just be, I knew then it was about me navigating, not the other person. And that person being able to realize like I'm just allowing them a place for them to be. For me, that allowed me to be more vulnerable because my antennas were able to be up with what the young lady just said about trusting myself.
And they wonder why Live on Broadway podcast get into the bag we do, and why I'm telling you, we for the people. I don't know what they do around the block, up the street, down the corner. We for the people. I love it. I think standing in front of it myself, I love the vulnerability of recognizing the places that in your areas of opportunity, right? I think that I believe, I stand by, I entrust that I can't get nothing or expect anything out of you without first expecting how I'm showing up, right? I have to show up and do the work, right? If I don't graduate from college, it's because I didn't do the work. It's not all of the professors, right? And I think that level of vulnerability and being able to share that with someone and not have that used against me, that in turn encourages me, right? That in turn shall encourage you, right? It should make you feel like you're able to gain the world. I think one of the places that Broadway, what was the lack of vulnerability in you that allowed you to fail achieving the relationships you desired? To be honest with you guys, I believe the thing that allowed me to not achieve the relationships that I desired was trust issues, right? You really spoke to me when you said that, Trinity. I think that sometimes you get caught in a box, and this is before therapy, right? I'm been in therapy, currently in therapy, plan to forever be in therapy. But I think that and this is why I come up here and I say things like, nope, stand in front of that. Because it's easy for us to, it's been easiest for me to deflect. It's been easiest for me to point the finger and get out of it by talking about what you did, right? Deflecting. But it's been hardest for me to stand in front of the person that's in the mirror that's doing the thing. It's been the hardest for me to see the world. It's been hardest for me to recognize that how I think I'm presenting, the world might not see it because they're on the outside looking in. Hello? And I think a lot of times we are self-centered and we only think about how we're presenting. We're not thinking about the receiving component of it. And when you're on the receiving component, when you start thinking about how people might, all right, cool. I think I put on this black shirt, these camo pants, and I look a certain way. Somebody else might see something totally different. But it's having the vulnerability, it's being vulnerable with myself and saying, hey, Broadway, how you think you putting on? You might not be putting on like that. So it's been hardest for me to achieve the relationships that I desired because I, at some point in my life, didn't realize until late how I'm presenting might not be what you're receiving. And when you box yourself into only thinking about what you're wearing, what you're doing, what you're saying, there's another whole component and world out there that's looking back in at you, that's listening back in at you, that's smelling you. In some cases, in intimate moments, that's tasting you. And ladies, not to go too far off the reservation, you know that guy, or fellas, you know that girl that looks all of the amazing, but then you taste them. And then you say, hey, homeboy, you need to eat some more pineapples. You need to drink some pineapple juice. You need to, you know what I mean? You need to get some vegetables and fruit from natural sugar sources that will allow you to. So it's not just this. Sometimes it's the recipient, the receiving part to it. Tap in with us, La.
Yeah, definitely. Wanted to add to the back of what Trinity was saying. So it's real funny that we're having this conversation because I was having a conversation at lunch today at work with my best friend, and I was talking about how it takes a very strong level of maturity to be accountable for oneself. Like to actually sit with yourself and go over a review over what you actually contributed to a demise of a relationship. Because not a lot of people can do that. And that's something that I've done personally. Like, okay, well, how did I contribute? Like, it's not always the other person. Like, what did Lala do to contribute to, this failure? That takes vulnerability with myself. Not a lot of people can do that. Not a lot of people are strong enough to say, hey, I effed up in this area. This is where I need to heal. So I think it's very important to, be a reflection to yourself and say, hey, I need these areas to be fixed. Some people do that with therapy. Some people do that, through their religion. Other people just can do that intuitively. And another thing that we spoke about was, sometimes, and to Luna's point, when she was saying, speaking of Summer Walker, like maybe that's the vibration that she's on. I brought to the point that, like attracts like. And sometimes we need to go outside of ourselves and say, okay, well, what is it about me that I keep attracting these types of people that I don't like, that I know are no good for me? That takes another level of maturity to say, hey, maybe this happened to me in childhood that makes me feel like I need to be, a savior to some degree or some sort, and I need to move away from this type of behavior. So a lot of things, apart from accountability, can attest to, you becoming more vulnerable with yourself so that you can have the relationships that you truly want.
Thank you for that, La. Thank you for that, Lala. To add on to the back of what you just said, I also think that we place ourselves on these pedestals that we don't desire, that we shouldn't be on. Wake it up. Just saying. Just because you did whatever you did way back when doesn't mean you deserve to be placed on that pedestal today. I'm just saying. I'm not exempt from that. It's not about what you did in your yesterdays. It's about what you're currently and actively doing today. And the reason why I say that is because I think it's very easy for us to cape for ourselves and put ourselves on a pedestal and make it seem as though we're God's gift to women or you're God's gift to men, right? Nah, that's not the way it works, or that's not the way I see it. If you can't, just because you are a woman don't mean you're supposed to be placed on a pedestal. Just because you are a man don't mean you're supposed to be placed on a pedestal. The person, or the people rather, that's supposed to be placed on this pedestal are the people that actively show up day in and day out. And they don't look at themselves like I should be placed on a pedestal. Don't look at yourself like that, right? Look outwardly, and again, how you're presenting might not warrant you being placed on that. And here's another thing. Sorry, while I'm at it. Because me and Lala have a dope relationship, a dope friendship, that's me and Lala. I deserve to be placed on a pedestal by way of Lala. But that don't mean when I go over here to Clubhouse and I get next to Shantae, that Broadway's supposed to be placed on a pedestal because, as the old saying goes, Shantae's screaming to Broadway, what have you done for me lately? What have you done? Why do you deserve to be placed on a pedestal over here, Broadway? So be careful and mindful that just because you are placed on a pedestal over there, that means that you're going to be placed on that overall. Live on Broadway podcast. Let's step into final thoughts. We talked about Chris Brown and Quavo. Hello? We spoke about, had candid conversations about Summer Walker, New Thing. We had a conversation also about should marry people, who should marry people confide in once their situation run awry, right? And we ended it with what was the lack of vulnerability in you that you felt to achieve the relationship that you desired? Final thoughts. D, are you by your mic, D? DWI, you by your mic? Otherwise, I'm going to Trinity. Trinity, it's on you, Queen. Go for it.
Okay, well, there's two things that I would like to offer. First is that you got to marry a friend, because your friend is somebody who you give grace to. Your friend is somebody who you forgive easily. But not only that, your friend always shows up as they are, and you don't require them to change. So if you marry a friend, you will end up with a husband. Secondly, relationships are simply for you to experience yourself as yourself. And you can only experience yourself as yourself if you are in the company of another, because you cannot be kind in the absence of someone.
I'm sorry, in the absence of someone, I apologize.
It's okay. You cannot be kind in the absence of someone who is unkind. You cannot be loving in the absence of someone who is desiring to experience love. So love is not an emotion, as I know it is a demonstrative act. And it's a demonstrative act that reveals how I feel towards someone, which is, I care. I'm interested in another person and they matter. So when you find someone who matters to you, you will put forth every effort to ensure that they remain in your presence because you care about them, you like them, and you love them. I yield.
I don't know what you had for breakfast this morning or what you ate for dinner. Where you buy your iced coffee from? Or what service you watch Cleflo Dollar, TD Jakes? I don't know. But what I do know is you giving the word tonight, honey. Shantae, you.
We're going to try this again. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we can. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Final thoughts on you, Tay.
Final thought, do what works for you. But at the same time, don't put your vulnerability out there where you over-compromise yourself. Realize that who you were before isn't who you should be now. And with that being said, love y'all.
Wise words from a wise woman. Tap in with us live one time. YouTube, hit the link and hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Y'all know what it is. Leave your comments in the comments, and I'll be sure to have Nas bring them up right here. Go ahead. It's on you, La. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. My thoughts are bittersweet. I just want to say that we had a good pod. I'm grateful to always be here. I do want to say this on the back of Trinity, that love is a choice. I too also believe in, if you're going to be in a long partnership with someone, they do have to be your friend, because you're not always going to love that person. You're not always going to like that person. And the foundation of friendship is going to keep the relationship throughout the years. And if it wasn't built on a friendship to begin with, you really don't have anything. But I love you guys all the time, and I miss y'all. And yep, That's it.
Nah, I appreciate you, La. Oh man. Final thoughts. Final thoughts on Broadway. Um, is not going to be too much different from what you young ladies have shared with us tonight. What the commentators are echoing in the comments. Um, I think tonight has been amazing. And I learned a long time ago that if you can't add value, simply applaud the value that's being provided. So thank you, ladies, for just smoking it. Trinity, it's been a pleasure to have you here tonight. I love your 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 demeanor and how you present vocally. Very knowledgeable, and we appreciate that on the platform. Um, okay, so what I will share for final thoughts is this is season 7. Jesus, we've been doing this for a little minute. What I will share with you guys tonight is, since the inception of the podcast, remember we started back in 2017, right? I'm talking 7 seasons later, right? To be in 2024, it's been a blessing and privilege to sit in front of you guys. And y'all know me, I come on the pod all the time, and I say candidly, this is as much of a learning platform for me to listen to you guys as it is for you guys to listen to me, right? I think and believe in each one, teach one. I also believe that we are in a place and state where information isn't shared amongst others, and it should be, right? I also believe that this time, when we built Vanilla Skies, where we do the podcast out of, it was always and had the intentions of doing it here, right? What ended up happening, we took a little hiatus because we needed to get back to the business, right? And then we ended up going into bringing back season 7 and doing the pod out of Vanilla Skies. In that time, a lot of things has happened, and in an effort to not get too emotional, because I feel like ever since the ribbon cutting video, I feel like I've been crying too much, so I'm not going to get emotional. But this is a very emotional moment for us and for myself personally, because I feel that with the loss of Allison Grace Edwards, our beautiful angel that resides in heaven, it's been kind of difficult for me as an individual to mourn, right? And every Monday I still have to come in and do the pod. And when I do the pod, I have amazing help behind the scenes. Lala's come on board and done an amazing job. Got Nas back there knocking it down and lining it up and knocking it down, and a lot of others. But for myself as an individual, going back, and this pretty much echoes a lot of the sentiments that you guys shared tonight, right? If I'm not in a space to be and present and show up in my best form for you guys, it's kind of counterproductive, right? Where I'm just the dog chasing its tail. And I'm a firm believer that whenever people work for me or I'm in an environment, I like to bring the thing. I like to, because that's why you invite me out. When people invite Broadway out, they say, yo, Broadway, yo, just pull up. Yeah, you pulling up because I'm going to turn up. It's going to be up, right? And I'm going to be a good time. So I feel like it's a bit unfair to our viewership and listenership that listens and taps into the pod and aren't able to get, if you know, right? Like if you've been here throughout certain seasons or whatever, when I'm there, I'm there. And unfortunately, the last few episodes, I don't feel like I've been able to put on to the best of my ability, right? So I'm going to take a little moment. I'm going to take a moment to relax, to relate, to reflect on not only myself, but those that I've placed in my life. The loss of Allison came at a moment where it was just impromptu. It is, those that have close relationships with her, it was devastating to all of us. So for me, being on the pod, I feel as though a moment of clarity is needed, I feel like a moment is needed for me to gather myself. So we're going to, take a fall back from the pod and continue to pour into ourselves and love ourselves. And I want you guys to do the same. Because it's very easy for us to lose track of the people that's in our lives and appreciate them while they're there. Not while they're gone, while they're there, right? And I don't feel like I've been able to love on my people the way that I want to while they're here. Because life happens. You're doing this, you're doing that, right? And I love to come on the pod and be entertaining for you guys. I love I love this. Like, our pre-pod meetings, like, it's up. It's always a good time, And we started the pod back when nobody was talking about relationships largely. Now everything just sounds like an echo chamber, But sometimes you got to take a step back, pour into yourself, and learn how to appreciate those that's right there next to you, because it's not promised that they're going to be here in the next moment. With that said, YouTube viewership, we're going to still post and put things up. We're going to feed the core. We got some really nice and exciting things working in the background we've been speaking about. But in this moment, I want to thank you, Lala, for always showing up. I want to thank you, DWI, for lending us your wisdom. I want to thank you, Nas, for showing up and getting the job done. You've really come onto something, and Nas don't speak a lot because he's always in the background, but Nas is very, very, very instrumental in this new development because if it wasn't for Nas, we wouldn't have been able to do any of this, right? So thank you, Nas, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you and the time that you lend us, because you don't have to. My lady, for going through the crazy. We done did stuff, and I done said things, and everybody looking at her, and I got to stand on it now that I done said something crazy. But nonetheless, shout out to the haters that beside I and my lady. When y'all see her, hello. Big lady. But this has been one hell of a ride, one hell of a journey. And I wouldn't change any part of it, because it's literally taught me so much. So much. It's taught me how to build and develop new friendships. It's taught me how to literally trust the person behind the lens. How to, put in a phone call and know, hey, if I say I'm calling you at 5, expect it to be 5:30, because Broadway be running late. Sorry, Lala. You roped in now. It's taught me how to be a student and learn and observe from my brother D, who's been in this and doing it and gave us our first shot at being on a major platform, his DSN network, the Matrix Studios network. When we went up to the Matrix Studios, we panicked. We had about 40 people in the room, 20, 30 people in the room going dumb. It was crazy, right? So, shout out to my guy, Brooklyn Pisces. You know, these are different installments of Live on Broadway podcast. Ashley.Kings, Raina _ Raina Love, Raina, LOBP sweetheart. You know, so this has been a journey, and I'm excited to see what the next thing will offer LOBP. And yeah, that's all I got. I want to thank me. And not for nothing. I know you said that as a joke, Trey, but I do want to thank me. I do want to thank me because I showed up every single Monday. Every single Monday. Without, of course, there was technical issues here and there, but that was a rarity. I showed up. I remember me and my guy City being out in the Heights. I'm like, yo, bro, it's Monday. I got to go to the car. We got to get this in. What's happening? And I show up. I show up. You know, so not too much on Broadway, but 710 episodes later, we here. I appreciate you guys. And the way we're going to end this one is an homage to our sweet and dear and loving angel in heaven, Miss Allison Grace. We love you and can't wait till we meet again. Live on Broadway podcast. You know the vibe, but you know my body. Pull.
Click.
You know, the ribbon cutting was a moment for a few and close friends of ours because we lost a close and dear friend after that. You know, and she will forever be celebrated. She will forever be honored. She will forever live inside of all of our hearts, you know? And Allison Grace, you know, she taught us a lot. She taught us a lot. She taught me a lot, you know, and it was untimely. So to her friends, her family, her mother, her father that I met and had, you know, a moment to hug and tell them how much I personally appreciate her, I say thank you for sharing your daughter. Thank you for giving us, myself, and so many others the opportunity to share your masterpiece and just appreciate the people that's there because all of our time is limited and we don't know how much time we're actually going to be afforded. We're all on borrowed time. You know, there's an old meme. You see the miner, he's mining, and he becomes one strike away from hitting the diamond, you know. But in my head, he always gets the diamond. He never stops there. In my head, he always gets the diamond. So if Vanilla Skies is our diamond, then what's worth more than a diamond? Or if sky's the limit, then it has to be more after the sky. You know, so we have all the ambitions of cementing ourselves in Jersey City and neighboring areas, right? So I'm excited for what the future holds, but I'm even more excited to meet more of Jersey City, you know, and I'm taking my team with me. We all going to the same prom. You know, so yeah, that's what's next for that's what's next for Vanilla Skies. As far as me, what's next for me? You gotta stay tuned to find out.